Civilian life can eat a dick. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Holly. I used to have a channel called The Kitty Corner. Now I have this channel because it got deleted. Anyways, yeah, I'm Holly. This is my new channel, TNK, The Naughty Corner, blah, 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 whatever. In today's video, I want to talk about how much civilian life fucking sucks and how after 2 years, kinda, in hiatus from doing sex work, I'm going back. I am going back to sex work. Fuck yes! So let me tell you a little bit about myself in case you don't know me. So up until about, I'd say a year ago, 2 years ago, I'd been a full-time sex worker for about 15 years. I think now it's coming on to the 17th or 18th year. But anyways, I'd been doing it pretty much full-time for fucking 15 years. And, you know, in that time, I'd also, you know, I've worked in brothels, I'd worked for myself, I had an escort agency that I had other ladies work for me as well as working myself. I was kind of like, in layman's term, a pimp. I didn't bash anyone though, and I didn't take anyone's money, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, so about 3 years ago, yeah, I want to say 3 years ago, I had something come up health-wise that made it so I just could not work. I could not work at all. My body failed me, my body hated me, and unfortunately, the bit of my body that was affected was my punani. I got the Depo-Provera contraceptive injection one time, and it fucked me up. I basically bled for 9+ months. It was almost a year that I had a period. It was horrible. So in that time, you know, and my escort agency that I had, it was closing up. I, you know, couldn't work, so I had to go on unemployment benefits. Yeah, so I was on the dole, that's what we call it here in Australia. And with a dole, you know, you can pretty much get away with doing nothing and you just get like free money for a little bit. And then after a certain amount of time, you have to actually do things to get your unemployment benefit. One of the things that they may want you to do is work for the dole. This is shitty because you basically have to work a 20-hour week, not getting paid properly, still just getting the unemployment benefit. So basically the employer that you're working for is getting a cheaper labor person, and you still get fuck all money. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to work for the dole because in my head it's working for free. I know I still get paid unemployment benefits, whatever. Thank you, cat. But yeah, no, I didn't want to. Can you get off my clean cutlery? Anyways, yeah, didn't want to work for free. The other option that they gave me, because you have to go to like a little employment agency thing that helps you find work. They get paid by the government, you know, they get like money. Anyway, so they then offered me, you know, okay, we either have to work for the dole or study. And I'm like, okay. And they had 3 study options that I could take. They had childcare. Hell no. They had hospitality. Fuck no. And then they had aged care. Aged care, I was like, I really like old people. I think just before then I'd started doing volunteer work, going to speak to old people, like, you know, that are lonely and don't have, you know, many relatives in town or whatever. So I had like a lady that I was allocated to, and I'd go and see once a week for an hour and have coffee and talk, and it was amazing. So it sort of flowed on nicely to go and do an aged care course. So I did my aged care course, Certificate 3, beautiful. At TAFE, and I really enjoyed studying. I really liked it. Like, you know, in high school, I was one of those people that would sit at the back and just talk and just not give a fuck. But going into education as an adult, when you actually want to learn and you're kind of interested in the topic, it was really good. And I did really well in that, and I really enjoyed it. And when the 6-month course stopped, I didn't want to stop studying. I was like, I want to keep going. So one of my classmates, they were like, well, I'm going to stay on and I'm going to do the EN diploma, which is enrolled nursing. And that went for like a year and a half. And she's like, you know, we should do EN together. And I'm like, yes, let's do EN. So I stayed for another year and a half, and I did my enrolled nursing diploma. So I'm a nurse. Yay me. So while I was studying, I was living on fuck all money. I was living on about $300 a week, which is below the poverty line. I think that's even less than what Centrelink pays. So I was, you know, I was living pretty frugally, but it's fine. I've lived in worse situations before, whatever. It was really hard to fit sex work in while studying and doing all that because I had to go away on placements and blah, blah, blah. So I saw like a couple of regs, but I never advertised, yeah? Anyways, so now fast forward, I've finished my course. I've got 2 aged care jobs. I have one where I, you know, go and see people in their home, and then I actually work in an actual residential facility. I love working with the oldies. I love working in the facility that I work in. The residents are amazing. Most of them have dementia. I find them a crack up. I could tell you some amazing stories, but unfortunately I can't because, you know, nurse code, you know, all that jazz. But it really cool job. I would, you know, really look forward to going in there. I felt like the you know, big bosses, you know, liked me. I felt like I was at home. You know, I felt this is great. This is amazing. And then I realized that civilian work is fucking shit. I mean, I always knew this. But for some reason I thought maybe nursing would be better or different or something. But it's not. So basically, what I learned, but I already knew, but I just relearned it again, was that in civilian work, you have to do as you're told. You cannot speak up. You are treated like shit and there's nothing you can do about it. You can just stand there, nod your head, apologize, do whatever. You got to suck up to that boss. And yeah. Sex work was never like that. If you pissed me off or disrespected me or treated me like shit in sex work, I would very quickly and firmly tell you to get the fuck out and never see me again. And I had control, you know, I had power. You know, I never felt like I was being mistreated. I never felt like I was being used or abused or violated in any way. In civilian work, in nursing, holy shit, I've never felt so degraded. I've never had an adult speak to me in the same way that my supervisor, sorry, cat. Yeah, never had someone speak to me in the way my supervisor has spoken to me in front of other people. It's insane. So I kind of, you know, was going home crying, and I was, you know, not because of the supervisor, but just because of the situation, because I felt so defenseless. You can't do anything. And if you speak up against your supervisor, she was the sort of supervisor there, you know, if you speak up against her, you will get your shifts cut or you will lose your job, and it's just all fucked. There's just so much hierarchy and fucking bullshit that goes into it. Too long to list here. But anyways, I recently handed in my resignation because I'm like, you know what, I'm getting old now. I just cannot work all these hours for such little money and go home crying because my workplace upsets me. I'm too old for this shit. I'm turning 40 this year. That's it. It's about working smarter, not harder, okay? And I looked into it, you know, the facility, you know, the residential care job that I have, let's say, you know, because I have 2 jobs, right? So that one job brings me in about $500 a week, right? If I convert that into sex work, $500 a week is 2 2-hour bookings. I can make the same amount of money in 2 hours doing sex work with the rates that I charge, as opposed to near 20 to 30 hours doing civilian work. The same money. The same money. What the fuck am I doing? Why on earth would I want to work 40 hours a week to make fuck all money? People say you can't go into nursing for the money. It's not a job that you can go into, or an occupation where you do it for the love of money. You have to do it for the love of the job. And that is totally true. Nursing is so underpaid, and nurses are treated like shit. There's so much, you know, bullshit that goes on behind the scenes. It's insane. So if someone asked me, what would you prefer to do, nursing or sex work? Definitely prefer to suck dick for money. That's funny because sex work and nursing are very similar. It's really weird. I think to be good at either job, you have to have a caring personality. And for me, I love looking after people. It brings me absolute joy to help an older person wipe their bum. Sounds gross, I know, but I feel like I'm needed and they need help, and I'm here. I am all about the wiping of the bums. I'm good for that. And I feel good inside helping them because, you know, I always think of, you know, what if this was my nan? You know, if my nan couldn't do these things for herself anymore, how would I like her to be treated? And how would she like to be treated? And so I'm very caring. When you put that into sex work, it's very similar. So many clients, you know, come to sex workers because they have problems. They're not always coming because they want to fuck. Sure, there's a good decent amount that's all they want to do. They just want to get one off and get out. Beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for coming by. But there are a lot of men that come and see sex workers that have problems. And I have met so many over the years. And I used to get so much, you know, it would be an honor for me to listen to their problems. And it's really weird because men, when they're naked, they become quite vulnerable and open. And they express themselves a lot better. I've noticed in life, women as a general rule, when they have a problem, it's very easy for them to, you know, talk it out, whether they, you know, vent to their girlfriends, whether they go and see a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a counselor, whatever. For women, it's not seen as too big of a deal to go and see professional help. For men though, I don't feel that it's quite as easy for them to go and see professionals, you know, about a problem. But it's a lot easier for them to go and see a sex worker, and, you know, with the premises of I'm going there to fuck. But really, the actual reason they're going is because they need someone to listen to them. They need a shoulder to cry on. They need someone to give them, you know, undivided attention for that 30 to 60 minutes. And, you know, I feel privileged and, yeah, honored that these people will come and share their problems with me. And there's, you know, there's an unspoken rule, you know, I don't talk about their problems outside of the booking, and they don't talk about me outside of the booking, and it works really well. Yeah, it's a... what's the word? It feels like coming to see a sex worker, they could tell me anything, you know what I mean? They could say their name is Mark, that they have, you know, 5 houses, that they're single, whatever. But really, their name is John, they have 1 house, they're married with 3 kids, they haven't had sex with their wife for 5 years, and they're lonely and depressed. You know, that could be the true story. But they could tell me whatever they want. But the problems that they address when they're talking to me, whether they say they're Mark and they've got a yacht or whatever, the problems are real. And I feel like, you know, in a sex work booking environment, problems can be fixed. And sometimes all it is just having someone to listen to you. That's all it is. So I'm taking the big plunge. I've, you know, handed my resignation in, and now I'm going to put an ad in the paper, and I'm going to try and do sex work again. Oh my Lord. Now, it's been a while since I put an ad in the paper, like probably a year or so. Like, it's been a long time. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know, like I said, I'm nearly 40, you know, I'm 40 this year. Am I too old? You know, will my regulars still want to book me? Will they still remember who I am? Will they be bored of me because, you know, there's a new brothel in town now, you know, are they all going there? Do they all just want 19-year-olds? I don't know. The people in this town I've worked in this town for 13 years. I've lived here for about 4, but I've been coming to this town for a very long time for work. Maybe they are just sick of me. Maybe they're glad to see me stop putting an ad in the paper. I don't know. But look, even if my phone rings once and I get 1 regular that calls up, I will be so happy, so happy. Yeah, so let's see what happens. So I'm putting on my hooker shoes again. I'm putting them back on. I'm a little bit excited. I'm a little bit nervous. I hope it goes well. But I will keep you guys updated, okay? Let you know how I go. So it's happening this week. Oh God. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's gonna be amazing. Fuck God, let it be amazing. Fuck. Like I said, all I need is 2 jobs, 2 bookings, and I've made enough to cover a fucking civilian job. So that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. Fuck. This means I'm gonna have to brush my hair, maybe put some makeup on. Fuck. It's a lot of work. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm not sure when the next one will be out, but it will be soon. And I hope you're doing well. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.